everybody, and welcome back to the Hilltop Pillbox here in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. And we are on Italy's turn of our current game, and I'll show you all the craziness that's about to happen. I've set up the battle and everything, so you don't have to watch me moving stuff around, but it's pretty simple. There's only one battle. Well, two, I guess, but you'll see what I mean. I'm just going to give you a quick wrap-up of what went on here, because I suspect you've seen my latest video, which had Japan. And if you've been following the game, Axis and Alloys just posted his America, Nationals, China, and UK stuff. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I'll run you through it. So the Chinese came in here, took that. I only had a single veteran in there, but he missed. So they took that without loss and kind of moved a lot of guys up to the front. The Communist Chinese on Russia's turn took Shanxi. The Americans brought everybody back here to the west coast. And Anzac came down here, brought everybody back to Sydney. FEC busted out, of course, as they always do, and they grabbed those easy $8. Why wouldn't you? And built some men in Calcutta. In Africa, we have the march heading up here. Oh, put him back up there. We have the march heading up to here, and don't disregard the blue arrows. Those are my moves. The Free French obviously are there, kind of stuck around there for now because they couldn't attack Italy because they weren't at war yet. Not much else going on here. UK built a factory and another fortification in there, so they're pretty tough. That's probably never going to fall. The Russians kind of built a bunch of stuff up here, looking to threaten the Finns. And the British took Greece. So that's where our story begins here for Italy. The Greeks are now under siege. So what I have done is I have brought my whole fleet from here and my whole fleet from here. Whoop. And I've grabbed... There's 2 men, a tank, and I should leave him there. But 2 men, a tank, and an artillery in Taranto. They hop on board of these transports. They're going to land there. But everybody's coming into this sea zone, into sea zone 42. All right. All the aircraft is going 1-2 into Greece. So they all came from air bases. And so they're all going to have, well, these things are all messed up. Anyway, they all going to have 3 spots left, so that's not an issue at all. So I'm just going to grab this guy, put him down here for ease of doing the math on the attacks, and we'll begin with the naval battle. So I have 3 subs, and his destroyers he has 3, so they match up 1-to-1, so no sneak attacks. And then I have 5 destroyers, a cruiser, and a battleship. Okay, so we're just going to put the tray here, and away we go. So I'm going to have 8 at 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, dropped it. Okay, here we go. So you have 8 at 4. Okay, well that's a really good roll. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and so he's likely going to tip and then take the 3 destroyers. Now there's nothing, I've looked high and low. I can't find anything on coastal battleships and how they defend when they're hurt. So I'm going to treat it like a regular battleship and say it'll defend at a 5. Now, it only attacks at a 6, but we'll just have it defend at a 5. But it's obviously at defending at a 6 right now. And we have the 3 destroyers, so we have 3 at 4, and then 1 at 6. 3 at 4 and 1 at 6. Ooh, look at that, 2 hits. All right, so we're going to lose a couple destroyers, unfortunately. That hurts though, but I expected as much. Hopefully he doesn't get another hit. Now I've got oh, I didn't roll my 8 and my 6. So here's my cruiser at 6. That's a 1. Okay, so that actually takes care of everybody. Forgot to roll them. Okay, so that didn't change anything. I just forgot to roll my cruiser and my battleship in my first round of combat. Okay, so now this whole fleet is here. in C-Zone 42 along with these 2 transports. Okay, and we're landing these the 4 units, and then the 5th unit is coming in from Albania, and then I've got the 5 aircraft as well. Okay, so we have 2 at 2, 2 at 3, and then he's pairing up with a tactical. So I don't know if you're not familiar with the game. Anytime you get armor pairing up with a tactical, it goes up by 1. But since the Italian armor only attacks at a 5 instead of a 6, and it costs 7, it's kind of like Japanese armor. You won't see a lot of Italian armor getting built. He goes up to a 6. Okay, so he's at a 6. We got 2 fighters at 6s. We've got 2 tacticals at 7, and then a bomber at 8. Okay, and what he has here, he's got the 4 original Greeks, and then a 5, 6. So he's got 6 at 4. No anti-aircraft or anything like that. So we'll just get down to it. So we've got 2 at 2, and nothing. And we got 2 at 3, and we got nothing. And we got 3 at 6, and we got nothing. Okay, well this isn't going well. 2 at 7, we got 1 hit, 1 at 8. 2 hits, so 2 whole hits. That's pretty bad. Okay, so he's got 6 at 4. This is where all the hits are going to show up now. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Alright, so we've got 3. So we got 1 hit. Alright, so we're going to kill one of the guys who was landing. Well, don't do that. We'll just take that so I don't end up having to do that. Alright, so he's down to 4 now. I've got 1 at 2. I got 2 at 3. Nothing. I got 3 at 6. 1 hit. 2 hit. I've got 2 at 7. And that's all the hits I needed. So he's got 4 at 4. I don't think that's gonna. Yeah, but he got 1 more hit on me, so we'll just kill another man. All right, so Greece has fallen to the Italians. All right, I'll do this. We'll get out an Italian roundel here. We'll get rid of the red stuff there. All right. Okay, so then these planes all have to go somewhere, but they're going to head back to Taranto. Put the bomber there. And then we're going to, I don't think he's got any transports that can reach anywhere. So we're going to send these guys up here. And I think that should be good. All right, so more non-coms. That sub goes there. This guy will die, so we're going to move him to there. These 2 guys are going to move into Tobruk. We got 3 in Tobruk. And he's got no transports, so can only hit with 1 guy, so it's not going to happen. Got 2 planes. Yeah. But I'd have 5 5s. Nah, he's not going to do that. That'd be silly. Of course, guys do some pretty crazy things in this game, which makes it a lot of fun. Because you know what? In this game, there's so many pieces, so many territories, so many options, so many playable nations. One mistake, a game does not lose. It's kind of like I equate it to a football game. A lot of people say, oh, he fumbled on the last play, what a loser, oh, he lost the game. It's like, you know what? You had 50, 60, 70 snaps where you had the ball that you didn't get it done. So don't blame the one guy who fumbled on 1 play. So same in this game. I refuse to say that 1 turn was the game, right? There's a lot of things that led up to that turn. Maybe that turn wouldn't have happened if things would have gone differently earlier on, right? So for the build, we'll put... Actually, we'll put him up there. Might as well. And then our factory, of course, will go into Brook. Gotta answer the British factory, or else we will be swamped shortly. Okay, so there we go. That's the whole deal there. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else for the Italians to do. Not a lot going on. Oh yeah, this guy's going to move down here. I'll get this out of the way. This guy's going to move down here. And yeah, so that's the dead pile from the Italian turn. It looks fairly similar to most games. Yeah, so that's it. So Italy still holds all of her territory. So she has 26. I know they only start with 15 though, right? And that's why I could only build the factory in one guy. But they have 26 for their start. I didn't take anything down here, but took this, and that is now 28. And their national production, if they own Cairo, no. Greece and southern France, yes, for the Axis powers. So they got 2, but you need 3. And if the Med is free of Allied surface ships, not quite. So, yeah, but it is surface ships only, so you can't just sneak in a sub and try to spoil that for the Italians. Okay, so Greece has been taken, and what that does is it now opens up possibilities for the Axis miners, but I don't think too many. I think we got to be at war. I'll have to look that up. But I'll tell you on the German turn, which is coming up hopefully in not too long a time. And maybe I can even dovetail it with this one. We'll see. All right. Thanks for watching, folks. And Axis and Alloys is a great opponent here, and he's causing me all sorts of grief already with the Chinese. So I'm not really sure how to handle that, but we'll give it our best. All right. Till next time, may those dice be with you. All right. Here we are after round 1. This is the culmination of a couple of weeks worth of work for Axis and Alloys, my worthy opponent, and myself. So I'm playing the Axis, and that's after round 1 our economy, and after round 1 his. And as you know, the Soviets and the Americans have to roll for their economy, and the Soviets with 2d12. Max of 24, they got 19, and the Americans got 22. So they got 41 bucks out of a maximum possibility of 48 and a typical, 24. So they're up at 41. So they're already well on their way to war. If they get a couple more rolls like that, that's when the Japanese and Germans have a little bit of trouble. So we're hoping they don't do that too often. I just played a game yesterday and of this at a friend's place, and it was we're just starting things off, and his rolls for the Allies were abysmal. I think he got like a 5. I think he got a 6 once, a 5 with the Americans, and so I didn't want to attack anything as Japan. I just kept hauling in my 50, 60 bucks around and just pounding on China, and I didn't have to attack the Money Islands or anything, but eventually I figured, what the heck, let's get in there. So this is much different, as he's forcing the issue. He's already at essentially 27, because when France got attacked, that goes up by 5, and when the Germans attack Russia, it goes up by another 10. If I attack UK or any of the UK friends, it goes up another 20 or 25. So we got to be pretty careful about that as Japan. But as Germany, as you know, we are in the war, and full on here, and we are looking at our round 2 stuff. Here's the buy. We have 2 factories. You have a minor and a major factory going in, 2 subs, and we have 2 artillery, 2 men, and 2 tanks, and that's all of our money. We had $78, so you have 12 plus 30 is 42. Subs are 5 for the Germans, so that's 52. And then we've got 14 here in men and artillery, that's 66. And then we've got 12 in tanks, so that is 78. Alright, so to start things off, the Graf Spee, who survived the first round, is going to convoy. So Britain now is being convoyed for $2, so they're going to have to keep that in mind when they do their stuff. Oh, and the build for all my Axis miners is right here. So Finland, going from north to south here. So Finland, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria. So they get 3, they get 3, they get 4 or 6, and they get 4. Okay, so Romania adds a bit more to the German coffers than their own, whereas the other guys are a little less typically. All right, so sub here is going to come up here in Convoy Canada for 3, just to be jerks. And all these aircraft are coming into the English Channel, Season 24. Now the Brits had the opportunity to scramble 2 fighters, but he has decided not to do so, with good reason, because this fleet is coming in as well. All right, so I have 14 units coming in, including 11 air power, which is pretty powerful stuff, so he didn't want to lose the rest of his RAF. And I believe the rest of everything is going to be non-combat move. Oh, no, we got this here. So we got 2 Germans coming into there. And then, of course, we got Normandy. We're sending in those guys. Hopefully my 2s can get a hit before his 4 gets 5 hits. That's the dream. Okay, and I've had dice that don't let me win battles like this. So hopefully today is not one of those days. We really need to take Normandy. Alright, so we're going to take these dice up here, and we'll do our rolling right here. Alright, so we'll start with the easy one. Well, this one here is over. Okay, so that's going to turn into a German thing here. I better get out, I think I need just 2 German roundels here today. Grab a couple of German roundels. And we'll put 1 there, and then hopefully 1 there. And that's the Free French. We'll put him away. Alright, so here we go with the battling. So we're going to start in Normandy. So we've got 5 at 2 versus his 1 at 4. So we'll just roll this all together. So 5 at 2, the 5 yellows, and the 1 at 4. Okay, so look at that. Wow, shoot, I could probably use those later, but I'll take it, and he got a miss. So the lone Frenchman goes away. Alright, now we're going to do this battle here. Now I have a destroyer and he has a sub, but so we cancel each other out. And then I've got a cruiser and a sub and a destroyer. Now the sub usually shoots at a 5 because there's usually more than 1, but I've only got 1 there. So we're going to have a 4. And then we've got another 4 with the destroyer. And then we have a 6 with the cruiser. So we're going to start with that, and then we'll do the air power. Okay, so 2 4s and a 6. Yeah, see, now I'm not rolling it. Alright, and now I've got 1 2 3 4 5 at 6, and then I've got 6 at 7. So 5 at 6, so that'll be yellow, and then I've got 6 at 7. So that'll be all the ones that aren't yellow. So the yellows are 6s, everything else is 7s. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, which is plenty. I needed 2 for the battleship, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so he's going to reply. Don't have to worry about anything there. It's probably a good thing he didn't scramble. Would have lost his planes. So we have an 8. We'll put the red as the 8. And we've got 2 at 4. And then we've got 1 at 2. So 2, 4, 8. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't scramble. That would have been not good. So no hits. These were 4s, a 2, and an 8. Nothing there. So it's unfortunate for the Anglo-French fleet, but happy for the Germans. Okay, so that was a flawless round there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to well, now that we've done the rolling, yeah, I guess I better show where everything's going. Alright, so this fleet here is headed back to Denmark. Okay, so we're going there. This transport here is just going to grab these 2 guys, and it's going to come over to Russia and drop them off. And all the Finns, all the Germans, everybody are going up into Viipuri. I probably didn't say that right with the right accent or anything like that, but everything's going. Okay, absolutely everything except for the the fighter. The fighter is staying back there in case the Russian... Well, no, the Russians can... Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think they can attack this, actually, because there's a German transport. Maybe they can. I'm going to leave my fighter there just in case the Russians can attack that Finnish destroyer. My Fallschirmjäger is going to move up one. Because in this rule set, the Russians and the Finns can fight over Finnish soil. I'm not sure about the water, though. But they can fight over Finnish soil, and it doesn't precipitate a war between the two powers, the Soviets and the Germans. It's just kind of like a little proxy war going on. So those guys hopped on there, went over, and then this one's coming back. So it's essentially just swapping things out a little bit. Okay, so that's that. This is a move I've been waiting to do. This is fun. So you go 1, 2, and we actually can end up here, and it's not against the rules, because the Germans can go wherever they want. They're not at war with America. This doesn't start a war with America by being in the same sea zone as them. So yeah, so head over there. And yeah, trying to stay out of the reach of the British destroyers over here, because they'd make short work of those subs on defense. This tank is going to move across 1, 2 into Austria. These bombers are going to fly these two fellows down here. Now, in order to use bombers as air transports, you can only move one unit, and you have to all start. The men and the bombers all have to start in or on an air base. Okay, so they were all in Berlin, so that's not a problem. I've got 3 mechs. They're going to move 1, 2 down into Bavaria. Going to get rid of these here. Get rid of this here. That's done, of course. And then all this stuff here is going to head down into Hungary. And this guy's going to head into Greece. Now you might be asking, why would I do that? Well, there's a reason for that. No attacks can come from these territories in these areas until, which means I got to put these here. Put them in the wrong spot. They can't come from these territories until I'm at war with Russia. Bulgaria, I think it's Bulgaria, can attack once Yugoslavia is under Axis control. Or maybe it's Hungary. Maybe it's Hungary, actually. But Yugoslavia is not under Axis control. And so I have to move this guy here if he wants to take part in the attack on Yugoslavia next round. Okay? So there you go. And I can't move guys here and then attack in there. That was kind of a brain fart. So they're all going to go here. And you're wondering how the artillery got here from Warsaw. Well, artillery can be towed by mechs, 1 for 1. Okay? This infantry in Warsaw is going to move up to Elbing. And I think that's all the stuff there. And these 2 destroyers are going to move 2, 1, 2, to support the Italian fleet here. Okay. And we'll see if that's enough to ward off the British. I'm not convinced it is, but I guess we will see what Axis and Alloys has up his sleeve. I think that's all my non-coms. So we'll capture these territories, each worth 1. I'm going to have to do some chipping out here. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll chip out and then I'll show you, especially this is such a mess up here. I'll chip out and show you where everything is in just a moment. Give me just a second. Actually, no, we'll do our placements and then we'll do that just to make sure everything's above board here. Okay, so the big complex goes in Romania, of course. The minor is going to go into Marseille. Now, some people argue that you can't put factories in that zone because it's not German, but in fact it is, because you can place a factory in any friendly territory, and Vichy is friendly to the Axis, so we can build there. These 2 subs are going to go into excuse me, West Germany. And I've just got my 2 tanks and all this stuff to place. So we're going to place our 2 tanks. None of this stuff, unfortunately, can reach where we want it to on round 1, so we'll just... Actually, we'll do this. We're going to place the 2 tanks in Stettin, and then these 4 units will all go into Western Germany. Alright, I think that's about where everything is going. Alright, so what I'm going to do is chip out everything, just kind of clean up the board a bit, put the planes back. So these 2 guys here, they can move 2 from the channel, so they were headed back to Bavaria. That won't need any chipping. And then the rest of this stuff here has 3 left, and they're going to head back to, well, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to leave 2 tacticals in Western Germany and 2 fighters in Western Germany. And then 3 tacticals and 2 fighters are going to go all the way to Czechoslovakia. And yes, I pronounced that wrong. Alright, so I'm going to, where did he go? He's in there, he's in there. I'm going to chip this stuff out so it looks a little bit better, and then I'll do the recap. We got to place this stuff as well. So an artillery, a tank, infantry, and an infantry that has to go into Helsinki. Alright, I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, so just going to go over the economy here, and then we'll show you what we got. So we've got 24 as the base, and then as we add everything up, we end up with 56, because we get 12 for all the miners, and then we've got 3 with Scandinavia, because we got Denmark, Norway, and Narvik. Okay, so that's another 15. Onto the 24 is 39, and then we have 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, these are each worth 1, and then plus the 7 is 55, and that is 56. Okay, and yeah, so I think that's everything. 56, and then we have 10, 5 for Norway, and 5 for not being at war. So we end up with $66 here at the end of round 1, and now we will do our little bit of our thing. So we've got a cruiser down here in the convoy zone for the Brits, okay, for $2. We have 3 subs here. Now some people might be saying, how can you be there? Well, there's only 2 types of zones in the game. There is friendly and there is hostile. And this is not hostile because they're not at war. And on your non-com, submarines can go to any, through and into any friendly zone. So there we go. Now if someone has an updated rule set or something that they changed since this last rule set, let me know. Alright, there is a submarine in the Canadian zone. I think I'm going to go from this side here just so that it's kind of up and down here for Axis and Alloys' sake. We have 2 destroyers in C-Zone 42. We have a mech in Greece. Of course, Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary have all their stuff plus what I showed you. So +1 infantry, +1 tank, +1 artillery. Here in Austria we have 3 men, 1 tank, and 2 strategic bombers. In Bavaria we have 3 mechs, a tactical, and a fighter. And we'll head over to France. Bordeaux we have 2 infantry. In Normandy we have 1 infantry, 4 mechs. C-Zone 24 we have a cruiser, a sub, and a destroyer. In C-Zone, is that 18? Nope, that's not 18. What is that? I can't see. 16. We have 2 subs. Up in 17, we have 4 subs. We have 1 cruiser, 1 battleship, 3 destroyers, and a transport. And then we'll head back here into Germany. In Western Germany, we have 2 tacticals, 2 fighters, 2 infantry, 2 artillery, and 1 AA gun. Berlin got an AA gun. Stettin we have an AA gun and 2 armor. In Czechoslovakia, we have what appears to be 5. I believe there should be 5 because I start with 6 tanks. I didn't build any new ones in round 1. So we have 5 tanks in Czechoslovakia, 3 mech, 1 artillery, and then we have 3 tacticals and 2 fighters. In Elbing, we have 2 infantry. In C-Zone 20, we have a Finnish destroyer and a German transport. In Helsinki, of course, the new infantry and the old fighter. We have a Fallschirmjäger up in the northern Finland. I forget what the name of that is. Tupari or something like that. Sorry, I'm not Finnish. To all my Finnish friends, I apologize for that. And then in Viipuri, which again I probably said wrong, I have 14 infantry and 1 artillery. And I believe that is all the German stuff on the board. So Axis and Alloys, there you go. That's the German turn. And now we're going to be heading over and we will do the Japanese turn here. We've got a lot of problems here. We got to try to sort out. We'll show you that shortly. Alright, so if you've been watching this series, this is now the Japanese turn of round 2 of my game with the worthy Axis and Alloys. And here's a little wrap up here. And I think if you've been watching this video, you've already seen this. I won't belabor the point. Alright, over here, the Japanese had 51 to spend. So we've got 1, 2, 3 12s. Okay, so there's 12, and 12, so that's 36. And then we've got 2 at 6 for 42, 2 at 3, pardon me, for 6 for 42, and that's 49. So we're saving $2. And then there's the Siam infantry, which will be replaced by a chip. And since no attacks can come from Siam, we're just going to put that on there now, just so it's done with. All right, there you go. All right, this is a mess. Look at all these arrows everywhere. So bear with me. Alright, so first attack. Boom, that's easy. And you're saying, well, no, isn't this UK money? Isn't this an attack on the UK? No, it is not. It is an attack on France, which Japan can do at any time without declaring war on anybody else. So there you go. A lot of non-com going on here. We do have this attack going on here. This is one of those crazy attacks I do every now and again. So yeah, this is it. So all these veteran fighters are going up here. And we'll throw in a tactical for good measure. These 2 bombers are going to come over here and just do a kind of a strafing run on this guy here. Okay? And hopefully he doesn't get a hit on us. The rest of this is all non-com and everything else is non-com. So here we go. We're going to grab our die tray or dice tray, depending on how you look at the word. Alright, here we go. We have... Oh, and this music, by the way, it's Hans Zimmer, if you can't tell, with all the violin. But he's... this is from The Last Samurai. So, yeah. Hopefully this will inspire me to great things. Okay, so this is done. That's a walk-on. So the only 2 battles are there. So I've got my 2 bombers going after the 1... lone communist Chinese infantry, and he's at a 4 and I'm at an 8, and he rolled a obviously 1 and then the 2 bombers here, so he missed and we killed him, so he's dead. Now of course the communist Chinese are holding on to that territory. Not much I can do about that. This next one's a little dicier for me because he's got 4 dice coming at me and I've got veteran infantry on the ground, which I hate losing, but they're there for a reason. So I'm going to have the 3 veteran infantry, and they're all attacking at a 4, and then I've got 5 fighters attacking at an 8 because they're veteran fighters, so those are all going to be 8s, and then that's about as confusing as I want to make it right now. So I've got the 5 fighters, and then I'll throw a tactical after this with a 7. Alright, so here we go. So that's probably going to be a 12. Okay, so we've got a 3 as a hit with my infantry. So these are 5, so I got 1 hit with the infantry, that's no good, and the rest are 8s, so that's 4 more hits for 5 hits. So those 4 infantry are dead, and they shoot back at a 4, and this is where I want them to get no hits, but we'll see. Well, it's going to end up being a 10. I don't think there's anything close that can actually turn that into anything anyway, because it's a 5-6. Yeah. All right, so he got 1 hit, killing one of my veterans, but I killed the 4 commies. Take that, Communist China. Take that, Chairman Mao. All right, so that means I'm just got to grab just a couple of Japanese tokens. So that one will go there. Well, actually, I just need 1. No, I need 2, because I need this one here. So we'll get rid of the free French one. Get out of here. All right, and now we have non-coms. Won't these be fun? Good grief, look at this mess. All right. So, first things first. Well, let's start over here. Actually, let's do the planes first. Okay, so all of these things are going to come back and land in Hunan. So everything's going into Hunan now, and then I can get rid of all of these. Yeah, I had to take some risks there. I don't like taking risks like that. So all those guys had 1, 2 into Hunan. But especially this early in the game. So, but I had to do it. Had to do it. The bombers have 3 spaces to go. We're going to just put them into Shanghai. And doing this actually might change one of my non-coms. Might change one of my non-coms here. In fact, it's definitely going to change one of my non-coms. I don't need to bulk that up. That non-com was there just in case things didn't work out. Alright, so we're going to get rid of all these blue arrows here. And then going up into here are going to be some more veterans. Going to join that veteran there. And an infantry. And then 2 more artillery. Okay, so that's a mess. But that's how it is. Oh, and the tank. Tank's going to go up into there. Alright. This is good. This veteran is going to move into French Indochina because it's not an attack, it's a non-com, so it's all legal. Get rid of that. Now, the fun stuff begins. So we're going to start just with these guys here. They can move 3, so 1, 2, 3. They're going to end up right there. Right? And these 2 destroyers, they can move 3. They're going to move up there. So those are all done. Then we have these 2 are going to go up here. They can move 3 because we've got a naval port. So they're going to go 1 and then 2. Actually, they're only going to move 2 anyway, and they're going to just pick up 4 guys and drop them off into Kwangtung. So now there's 6 infantry in Kwangtung. In fact, I'm going to move these 2 infantry into there as well. Alright, so there's 4 infantry in Kwangtung. These guys are done, so we'll set them on their sides. So we know we can't use them anymore. This submarine, 1, 2, 3, going to go out to the Marshall Islands out there. These 3 cruisers are going to come out to the Marshall Islands out here. This battleship is going to come out to the Marshall Islands out here. And these 2 destroyers are going to come out to the Marshall Islands. There we go. And I think that's all I'm going to send out there. So we're going to do that. That takes care of that. This submarine is going to go 1, 2 down to here. So he's just going to hang out there in C-Zone 74. Get rid of all this nonsense. Alright. This is where Japan's got to be very careful. Got to be very careful here because there's lots of things that can go wrong if I don't do this properly. Alright. So these guys can only move 2 because there's no naval port and I can't afford to build one yet. So we're just going to move up 1 here. These 2 transports are going to go all the way up 1, 2. Okay, but they can't do anything beyond that because there's no port down here. These carriers are going to join right here in this sea zone. These beautiful carriers given to me by Panzer King from Prince George. They're going to go up there. This transport is going to go here. It's going to grab 2 of the Special Naval Landing Force. And he can move 3. So 1, 2. That's no good. That's no good. 3. Well, we'll move him up there. And we'll just bring 1. We'll just bring 1. We don't need to bring 2 up there. All right. Actually, you know what? Nuts to that. We'll just take 2. We'll just take 2. There we go. This is probably where I'm screwing up. We got this transport down here. Can move 2. 1, 2. He's done. All the other transports are done. Everything's done down there. Everything's done here. Everything's done. The Carolines. This is all the stuff that started in the Caroline. They're going to go 1, 2, 3, and they're going to end up right here. Okay. Now there are rules that state that you cannot end up next to American continental zones. If it is, it's a declaration of war. But as you can see, we are not adjacent. Okay, so none of this stuff is adjacent. It's not a declaration of war. Although we're getting close. Closer, I should say. The Siamese destroyer is going to hang here. We've already added the Siamese guy there. So we're going to claim that and claim that. All right, get rid of that. All right, so we are down 1 with Japan from our initial 41. So that knocks us down to 40. Okay, but then we're up 2, so we're up to 42, 43, 44, 45. 46, then we got 6 here, takes us up to 52. Okay, so we're at 52 base dollars, and there are no bonuses available to Japan when it is not at war with anybody but China. So 52, so we're essentially up $1 from last time. There we go. Oh, now we've gone to Last of the Mohicans music, so it's kind of shifting. I guess America's turn's coming up eventually. Yeah, so that's that. We will now... I actually forgot to move these guys. Here we go. And I'm going to move these guys up to there. All right, now we're going to put on the Japanese build. Of course, the Siamese infantry has already gone on, so we won't worry about that. We have 2 factories. One is going in Siam. I can actually end up building a major in there. So that's just a little word of caution. And then I'm going to build a factory in Peking as well. And I had the factory in Shanghai last round, so I'm going to put 2 mechs and an artillery. And mechs can tow artillery, of course. And then... Oh, I must have knocked a buddy down here. Alright. There he is. Oh boy, the older you get, the longer way it is to the floor. Am I right? Okay. And then we've got the man and artillery. We'll put them in here. And to the Special Naval Landing Force. We'll put them in Tokyo just for giggles. That is everything. Okay, so $52 plus the 2 that we saved. So $53 for Japan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3. $53. Okay, so that's what Japan's going to have next round. Just put that into the Japanese box, and we're good to go. Okay, so now the wrap up of where everybody is and what's going on. So in Sea Zone 74, we have a submarine. Caroline, we just have 1 Special Naval Landing Force. In the Marianas, we've got a coastal submarine. We've got a regular submarine. We have got 3 cruisers, a battleship, and 2 destroyers. In Sea Zone 121, we have 3 submarines and 1 destroyer. In 131, we have 2 destroyers. In 130, we have 2 cruisers and 2 destroyers. In 135, we have a transport that has 2 Special Naval Landing Force guys on there. Mariana Islands, we have 1 Special Naval Landing Force. Siam, in 85, we still have the Siamese destroyer. We have 3 infantry and 1 fighter in Siam, all Siamese. And in French Indochina, we have a veteran troop and 2 regular troops. In Sea Zone 106, we have 2 carriers with the original loads, so 2 naval fighters and 2 naval torpedo bombers. We have 3 good-to-go transports. Get rid of that. We have 2 destroyers, 1 battleship, and 1 cruiser. In Shanghai, we have a factory. We have 2 strat bombers, 2 mechs, and 1 artillery. Kwangtung, we have 4 infantry. In Hunan, we have a tactical. We have 5 veteran fighters. We have 2 artillery, 3 infantry, 2 artillery, 3 infantry, 1 tank, 3 veteran infantry. Shanxi is empty. Yan'an, we have 2 veteran infantry. In Dalian, we have 3 veteran infantry and an artillery. Manchuria, we have 2 regular infantry. In 124, the sea zone here is 124. We have 2 transports. In Fukuoka, we have 1 infantry, 1 artillery. In Tokyo, we have 2 SNLF, and each of those territories, of course, still have their AA's. Some say AAA's, but they're anti-aircraft. That is everything. I think I've covered everything. So I'm going to hand the reins over to my opponent, Axis and Alloys. He's playing an excellent game so far, considering the Allies are always up against it. It'll be interesting to see how he moves forward on this. And looking forward to it. Axis and Alloys will now do the UK and all the minor allies, including France. So it's the UK, Canada, South Africa, Anzac, Far East Command. Like they all get some love on that turn. And but he'll do Russia first, then he'll do the UK, then he'll do America and nationalist China, and then it'll be back to Italy. So that should be good. This is an excellent game, folks. And yeah, we'll see how things turn out here for the rest of round 2. So thanks for watching, folks. Again, hug your loved ones. Thank your friends for taking time to play with you. It takes a lot of time to play these games, a lot of time, money, and energy, but they're doing it. So thank them. And from now on, remember, let those dice be with you.